I will say there is a good thing about my thinking.
I think there's something about
I know I do.
thinking
There's no
and
denying that
thoughts.
and my thoughts are here.
For a
I
while,
have them.
I felt the cloud that was following me. I felt like there was something over top of me that was holding me back. We just let time exist for exactly what it is. It is perhaps completely this feeling utterly that something fascinating or someone haunts us every waking moment can all just become
I think
memory.
to think that all I had to do was tell myself that that cloud didn't have to be as hovering as I was allowing it to be. It didn't have to be as controlling as I thought that my thoughts needed to be. I thought my thoughts needed to control me.
So much of what we know, so much of what we are, and so much of what we want to be, all has to do with our perception and the way we think. But when I open that door and I let them in, they flood through. I have found that those thoughts that haunt me every waking moment only haunt me because I allow them to sit in the corner and wait. I just have found it easier to turn my brain off. I'm not saying that not thinking is the solution to all things, but I think thinking in a different manner than the way you've been thinking for as long as you've been able to think about thinking. That's what I think thinking is like. Don't know if that scares me as much as it should. My thoughts wrap me in their arms. They squeeze me tight and tighter and tighter, like a boa constrictor, crushing me from the outside in. My thoughts weigh heavy on my chest. I see the thoughts out of the corner of my eye. I know I don't want to embrace with them, but I do. I embrace with my thoughts, and I let them crush me. It's been happening for a very long time. Since I can remember. Let it exist for what it is. It's really just because I couldn't turn off my brain. There's nothing more to it. I joke about it. What happens if we just pretend it isn't real? If we just remember. It's funny, my parents can tell you stories about when I would scream in the middle of the night. What happens if we just stopped worrying about the thoughts that loomed over us? I don't know why I was mad, but I was. If you really wanted to, you could just let it fall back into that hole and watch it as it just continues to disappear into the openness that surrounds it. What does that even mean? Why does it even do that? Is thinking really that essential to driving us into who we need to be? And I screamed. And I cried. It still happened. Mad. I was scared of what would happen if I just exhausted, feeling like I would melt at any second, but I just cannot find a way to get back to sleep. So instead I yelled for my parents. Across the hall, I don't really know where I'm going with this. Well, my brother slept in the room across the hall. I've been thinking a lot lately. It's a slow, slow burn with these thoughts. But that slow burn is the type of pain that hurts so bad, but feels so good. Sometimes it's a song, sometimes it's a TV commercial, sometimes it's my answer to the meaning of life. Most of the time, it's just a whole bunch of nonsense.
Every time I begin to think about thinking, I find myself falling deeper the answer. And deeper into... And I know it sounds crazy, and I know people will call me crazy, but this is what I found.
It's a whole bunch of nonsense that keeps me awake and keeps me sitting with this weight on my chest.
Do you think the obsession with thinking comes sometimes when I can't collect myself, I just listen to the ticking of my watch? I don't know. Keep thinking. I'm trying to decide what is these thoughts that are occurring constantly, these thoughts that are always in my brain, these thoughts that loom over me literally listening as time passes by, as if time is a tangible thing that I can. But for some reason, whenever I'm overwhelmed, I just listen to the ticking of my stupid... Sometimes it's I'm taking a deep breath and I just I honestly am just quite stuck right here in this moment. And the ticking of my watch calms that has been mentioned before. It helps me remember that I am right where I need to be, right when I need to. This is really funny right now, actually. I'm trying to gather all these thoughts. What? I'm trying to do this whole thing, trying to make everything really deep and meaningful, but I just literally cannot gather my thoughts. It is not tangible, I can't, which I guess is why it's so difficult to understand. Not decide. Also, what I'm thinking about, I cannot decide how I'm feeling. And I watch the clouds as they float past me. They're doing their thing, and I'm doing mine, and here I am acknowledging them, or they acknowledge, and just the wonder. I wake up to
exhausted from the thoughts that occurred the night before.
But they're just fucking clouds.
Through the day, because I have been up.
I think about that a lot. I wonder how many things actually have the ability to think.
I don't like what my thoughts do to me. They hold me back.
I know, as small children,
it hurts.
I don't know, maybe it was just me, as a kid, would you ever pretend to just, imagine that, thinking does not things
have
are
to
thinking a certain way, that frog, I wonder how that frog feels, but also part of me is, I wonder if these clouds are looking at me I'm looking at them. How do you put that into words? Are we all this perceptive of thoughts and this idea of
everyday
thinking?
World is controlled by our thoughts. Everything we ever do and everything that we ever say is all centered around this idea of thinking.
Or is it just us? Or do we as humans literally just yeah, we think. We just do what we do.
And constantly having your brain turned on and knowing what comes next or why this happened and how to prevent it from happening. And not have fingers pointing at you and not have this looming feeling that there's always something more. And I sit here and there's all these
people around me and they're also thinking about a million different things. I wonder if any of them are thinking about the same things I'm thinking about.
We are constantly on
Or if we're in two different worlds. Is anyone hearing me right now?
Is it possible to literally just
if anything,
exist?
Thinking is a dream. Daydreaming and thinking are literally the same Everyone thing. Else notices the thinking that I'm thinking. Dreaming. Is anyone else is someone thinking about me? The hauntingness of your dreams, the way that I'm thinking about someone instilled in your mind. But also, so when my brain stops, does my brain stop for yes, I think it's right time that I feel brain should stop and take a break, or does my break prolonged? Or do I never actually catch a break? I don't know.
How magnificent is the mind. It teaches us so much about who we are, but also tricks us into thinking about who we should be. My mind is always too much, but much like sweet sugar, too much isn't all too bad. Sometimes my brain thinks wonderful thoughts. I imagine new ideas and forge new concepts that grow me greatly. It is my favorite thing to do. To think. But it is also the one thing that pains me the most, because sometimes the sugar is too much that it no longer tastes sweet. Instead, it makes me sick. It makes me cry out for a glass of water, for some salt, for help. My brain thinks and thinks into oblivion. I don't stop and then I hurt. A cavity begins to form and the pain is overwhelming. At that point, there is no other way to help but to pull away from the roots that have been holding on tight. So tight, it feels as if they were meant to be here, to stay here. But I need to break free. I need to find something else to fix what's broken. There are so many wondrous people and places that can make it all disappear. But first comes the moment in between. The moment before I have decided to start thinking, there's this little fire that burns deep within. It creates a space for an abundance of potential, an idea to spark or a thought to ensue. The light sits, waiting to be turned on, to be told it can continue doing what it desires. I feel an unexplainable energy radiate through me unlike any other. Like a kid in a candy store, I am filled with so much joy and hope. But when it's time for the actual thought to arise, is when the fire burns out. That's when it all turns dark. However, I choose not to wallow in this reality. Instead, I bask in the potential. Because after all, it is both light and dark that create day and night.